Welcome to a new episode of this podcast. Today I bring you a transmission and an update for the new moon in Gemini happening on the 15th of June 2026. Before I start, if you're watching this on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Podcast, I'm just in a different setup because I'm traveling. And I'm actually in a small village in the south of Spain, just immersed in nature, mountains. Maybe you can listen to the birds. Wonderful, beautiful, so peaceful and so aligned with the energy of Gemini that we're going to be sharing today. Also this morning, I was in a mindful and non-duality talk and meditation, which has been so helpful for getting ready for this new moon, because I'm going to be sharing in a minute what's going to be happening. It's going to be great, but any exercises related to mindfulness, non-duality, connecting with nature, grounding is going to be key and essential. And I'll tell you why. Right. So before I start, remembering new moons are great for new beginnings. So anything related with intentions, setting directions, where you want to go, and more than focus in the path, focusing the direction, and release your expectations about the destination. But this is one of the greatest exercises for new moons that you can do. Another thing, it's Gemini. Gemini is so connected with the mind. The ruler of this sign is Mercury. So Mercury is all about mind, it's about communication. So mind and communications are going to be reflected. New moons and mind communication could bring like new ways of communication. Like we can from, and I was sharing in the previous episode about the South Node and the North Node, and how the South Node, it was in Virgo, and in this energy of perfectionism, very logical. Saying related to Gemini, we come from a communication that was very logical, ways of thinking that it was very logical, very rational. And in the last years, and more people are awakening to and realizing about other ways of communication through feeling and intuition. And this is why I'm actually holding a masterclass on the 18th of July, where I'm going to be sharing tools, techniques about how to use your intuition to guide you and to be more connected and get out from self-doubt and moving into self-trust. By the way, if you are interested about this masterclass, it's free, and the link is down in the description where you can join and you can register. It's online, so you can just join anywhere in the world where you are. Having said that, back to Gemini. So moving to these intuitive energies and this intuitive communication, where we connect also with more feeling based and more emotions. And it doesn't mean like it's an emotional communication. No, it's an intuitive communication, right? So that's going to bring also the opportunity to develop new ways of communication. Could be also like light languages, if you are not trained on that, or maybe you are not attuned with that, and you may feel the call to go and do that. It will happen, because this is going to enhance as well and open these paths for the people that they feel that call and it's in their path to do that. I'm highly believer that we have a purpose, and that our souls already chosen these paths that are in alignment for us, and we have natural gifts that some of us are just developed as we walk the path. Some of them, they are already developed. So that could be gifts that they can raise, they can light up during this new moon. People may start to channel new ways of language, new galactic communications as well, if that is part of your path. or even just learning from someone else, like doing a course and learning. Like even myself, I had that call. I'm learning new ways of communicating too with souls and with the soul language. So see, if that resonates, and it's something that also resonates with you, and if you want to learn more about intuition and how you can communicate with yourself and with others through your intuition, that it's also an option. You have the masterclass. It's live. It's in the link. It's down in the description. Another alignment and aspect that's going to be really cool for this time, it's Venus is going to be conjuncting Jupiter in Cancer. Anything that Jupiter touches is enhanced and is amplified. So Venus in Cancer is already very comfortable energy because Venus is about relationships, it's about values, self-worth, and beauty, and nature and Mother Earth, connection with Mother Earth. And then Cancer, it's about self-care, about caring of others, also very family-based energy and sign. So could be enhancing relationships with yourself and with others, with more compassion, with self-care, with self-compassion and compassion with others, but could bring also a more socializing energy, like you feel more social and want to investigate and go to different groups. Like I didn't do on purpose, but it just aligned that I had this trip. Now I'm moving, I'm meeting new people, I'm going to different groups, so align with this energy. So taking in advantage this, use it, and also recharge yourself, because we're gonna have the eclipses. Eclipses tend to be quite intense energies always, and intense times. So use it in your advantage to recharge yourself. North and South Node are still North Node in Virgo, and South Node it's in Pisces. I talked about this more in my previous episode, so I highly recommend if you want to learn more, you can go there. I spoke a lot about that. But as I said earlier, we're moving from logical, square, perfectionism. Also, it has health, the Virgo energy, to a more intuitive way of living, which is Pisces. Energy of Pisces is very intuitive, but also it's about the connection with the one, with oneness, non-duality. So that it's great. Also is connected with the spiritual teachers. So many people who feel that call, they may feel the call to develop, to start to share the gifts with others, and to get out from the comfort zone and move to another levels, that actually are for their evolution and their growth, and sharing their purpose and the gifts with others. Another alignment is Uranus. Uranus was in Taurus, and on the 25th of April moved to Gemini. Last time that Uranus was in Gemini was in 1941, 1949, and the Second World War happened. The atomic age happened, and the computers discovery and appearing happened too. So a lot of changes. But previous to that, it was 1859, 1866, and it was the American Civil War. And when that happened, it was a geopolitical restructuring. And previous to that, we had the 1774 to 1782, and we have the American Revolutionary War, which was a reclamation of independence. So every time that Uranus, which is rebellion and revolution and innovation, is been in Gemini, it had happened any sort of revolution and innovation in communicating, could be communication in between countries or within a country. But although astrology cannot tell what gonna be exactly the things happening, we can know that what kind of energies they're gonna be. Now, what is manifested, we don't know in the next years, but just being aware, because Gemini, it's very much in the duality mindset, and it's about moving into the non-duality. Gandhi said, be the change that you want to see in the world. And it's about embodying that inside of us, because what we see in the outside is just a reflection of what is happening inside of us. And the more that we move from duality to non-duality, the more that we are gonna be a ripple effect in the outside, in the way that we don't need to try to change someone, but we change. And as we change, they may feel inspired, motivated to do changes in themselves too. Because when you are at peace with yourself, all people feel it. And they say, I want to be at peace too. I want to feel like this. And then this person feel inspired, and maybe they ask you, like, think about it. Pretty sure that has happened to you. Like, you've been feeling great in your life, and maybe you've done some changes in the past or recently, and someone asks you, what are you doing to do that? I want to try to. That happened to me so many times in my life. I'm pretty sure something similar may have happened to you in any area of your life. So at the end, the real change is not in saying someone do that. It's about we change, and then they want to change too, because they just see it, that this is happiness, that this is peaceful, that we feel better with ourselves. And then we become the example. Even sometimes I don't want just to sugarcoat everything. I want to say that I honor as well the process of transformation and change sometimes brings darkness, because through the darkness is where the light shines, right? Not like that exactly, but this is the meaning. Even honoring these parts and these chapters where they may seem to be darker, there is always light, right? And it's then when we can light in a full potential from the more authentic place. So let's use this time, these years that Uranus is going to be in Gemini, in advantage to do this revolution and this rebellion inside of us. I'm a highly believer that more that we focus in ourselves, less that we focus in the others, right? Because when you're so focused in doing this revolution and rebellion with ourselves inside and changing the parts that are not serving us and that they're in duality, the less that we can focus in the outside. As simple as that. Or at least that's how I see it. Another placement that's going to happen after, it's not going to happen right in the new moon, but it's an interesting placement I want to talk now, is that Jupiter is going to move, that we just said that it's in Cancer, right, during the new moon. So, but it's going to move to Leo. The thing is that we have a lot of placements and alignments and aspects with Pluto. So Pluto is very transformational. It has been bringing a lot of transformations inside. But the energy of Jupiter in Leo, it's such a beautiful energy, because Leo, it's all about creativity. It's about connecting with our playful inner child that lives within us, that loves doing like fun things and paint and create. Like, if you connect and you allow yourself to have these times, during this time, to connect with your playful inner child who used to just go into nature and play with nature, or doing painting, creative games, doing these activities, maybe playing music, whatever you used to love when you were a child, more than you're gonna use this enhancement. Remember, everything that Jupiter touches is amplified. Therefore, that's gonna be just like a rocket for your creativity. If you do any creativity jobs or activities, also this time is gonna be great with new ideas, new ways of doing it, amplification. Use it. The leader within you will be enhanced as well. And just today in this talk that I was talking earlier, we had this conversation that the speaker was saying one of the ways of embodying non-duality, it's asking ourselves the question of how can I be a leader without being a leader? How can I be a leader without being a leader? Because that's part of releasing the ego as well, right? So this time it's going to be also for these questions of how can you embody your leadership and personal leaderships in the way that you release ego more and more and you just lead from source. And I love this analogy as well of thinking that we are the vessel. We are the vessel. We just become the vessel and we just ask God for guidance and our spirit or source. How can I become this vessel that allows just source to come through me, and we just become the channel? We don't get in the middle, ego don't get in the middle, we just become the channel, and that's it. That's it. Could be like asking, how can I, with my family, with my friends, with at work, whatever you do, right? How can I become a vessel for non-duality and for the souls? Please, God, teach me, show me, guide me, so I am the vessel. Another placement that is going to be interesting during those days is not, again, that's going to be just after the new moon on the 19th of June. And it's going to be the Chiron is moving from Aries during the new moon. We have Chiron in Aries still. And it's going to move to Taurus. So Aries is all about the I am and asking a question like, do I have the right to exist? I am. I am. I am. And that's been very related to what I've been sharing previously in other episodes in my reels and my content, that it's about asking ourselves the question, how can I become this version who is aligned with my soul, with my highest purpose, my highest self, and releasing these old versions that they were still attached to an old version of you that was more related to the self or to ego. So we're moving from that because Chiron now is going to move into Taurus. Taurus is all connected with self-worth, with value, with relationship, with nature, with global supply systems, and with security needs. And clearly, we can see that, in security needs, it's many people have been moving from finding the solid security in the external, could be like in a job, could be in relationships, could be in any material things or financial, to moving to more emotional security. So it means that during this time, which is from the 19th of June to the 17th of September 2026, there could be this lights spotted light in there with emotional support, emotional security. How can I become a safer pole for myself? How can I detach? One of the masteries of the sign of Taurus is detachment. How can I discover new ways of abundance? I'm becoming the vessel for that abundance to flow through me. Remember that we are what we want. I'm wealth, I'm abundant. So there are mantras that you can practice as well during these times. I'm wealth and I'm abundant and I'm prosperous. Because I am. Because I am. So during this time also, they can bring a deep sense of connection with your body, very Taurus, and with Earth. Also could be bringing any woundings, it had to be a spotlight in that too, highlighted in them. Could bring healing, the earth as well. We have an interesting aspect here because Kairos is going to be in Taurus, but also it's going to be a square with Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto, it's all about transformation. Aquarius is about innovation and disruptions. So could be a disruption in transformation related to the wounds in Taurus that we were talking as well. Could be like coming back to centralized system or any changes, disruption in systems. Having said that, as I usually do before I do these reports, I normally like to refer to different astrologers, and to, do a bit of research too on that. And many astrologers share that not necessarily it has to bring an economic hardship or resection. This is more associated to Saturn Pluton alignments. It's more about the awareness of the injustice of inequality and suffering, and hopefully this is the fuel, a desire for healing and improvements. So could be a healing of this inequality that may exist, and also could bring like healing modalities, new ways of new technologies, reconnection with ancient healing modalities as well. So all that's gonna be enhanced during this period. Remember, from 19th of June. The Chiron is the shaman, is the magical healer, is the wounded healer. This is the story of Chiron. So people who have this call in the healing in path, maybe they develop new gifts, maybe they heal parts of themselves that then is going to be in service for others too. So such a great time. As I say, most of the times that we have these alignments, instead of looking at them with the eyes of fear, it's about looking at them with the eyes of opportunity. It's an opportunity for evolution, for our growth. So this is mostly the report for the new moon. Remembering that Gemini is very mind, and communication, great time to find moments of stillness, to do breathing, breath work, meditation, mindfulness, barefoot in the ground. Also could be connecting with galactic communications, light languages, developing new languages. Also important is words into manifestation. Watch out what you're putting there. What are the words that you put out there? Because even if you realize that you can have negative thoughts, because we're humans, it's about how fast can you realize that, and you can reprogram that, and you can reframe that. And coming back to your talk, what do you want? What do you want to feel? Happiness, joy, freedom, love, unconditional trust. So come back to that instead of getting into the cycle and the loop of fear and attachment, etc. And it's an opportunity with Chiron in Taurus to move from the victim consciousness to the co-creator consciousness, co-creator with universe, with God, with source. So opportunity to transcend, opportunity to call your inner strength, especially with the North Node in Pisces, which is really guiding us also to connect with our dream time, connecting with multidimensional connections. That could be through dreams, could be through meditation, automatic writing. All this is going to enhance so much this time. And using mantras, especially with communication, that's going to enhance your communication with Gemini. So that is all for today. My loves, I hope you enjoy this and you feel enlightened with all this report. You got the access to the masterclass if you feel called to do that resonated with you. It's in the description. Otherwise, as usual, thank you so much. As always, thank you so much for being here, for listening to one episode. It's an honor to share that with you. If you are enjoying this episode, something that really helps the channel and the podcast is that if you can share that with a friend, also subscribe and follow so you receive more you receive a notification every time that I upload a new episode like this one, and I will see you in the next one. Shanti.